had an idea for a video and by extension, a story that stemmed from it. I had this idea around late March, early April, and I was really feeling this idea. I had a speed paint and a thumbnail ready to go as I was writing the script. I never finished that video because I experienced a bad case of burnout. When I got out of it, I moved on to other projects and ideas. It wasn't until mid to late August that I decided to return to that video idea, and I never expected the project I ended up with. Hello everyone, I'm Honey Doggo, and this video is nothing more than an excuse to reveal a new project I'm working on. I will say that the first bit is still true since this is how I ended up with this new project. However, I figure a video like this would be better since every time I tried to write a script about the project, so much of the script got bogged down by this journey. Now, here I am talking about the backstory for this project, so I can cut this part out of the script for that project. So let's talk about that scrapped video. The video I was going to make was a fairy tale characters as magical girls video. A video idea I still like since I love making characters and stories inspired by fairy tales. I was also getting into the Precure series and revisiting some series from my favorite YouTubers at the time. I wanted to make a video like that to try and challenge myself in character design. It took me a while to come up with some ideas I liked for the video before I went and drew the main picture for the video. Fun fact, I decided to use that speed paint for this video. However, as I was writing the potential story idea for the video, I got really attached to the idea and made it much bigger than I originally intended, which in hindsight is both a blessing and a curse. I originally made the story smaller to keep the creative chain going since I was really stressed at the time. The story went from 3 magical girls who were friends fighting evil to 3 magical girls trying to rebuild a magical girl group in a city. An interesting idea, don't get me wrong, but one I was not equipped to handle at the time. As I said earlier in this video, I got burnt out, so I never made that video. I decided to go back to the idea of making fairy tale characters as magical girls to make another video in August of 2025. I liked the idea I had for one of the girls who was based on the Ugly Duckling and wanted to redesign her. While I was brainstorming ideas, I got one for another magical girl based on Sleeping Beauty, and I was excited to make that video again. I didn't make that video because of a realization. I realized 2 things. 1, I was really attached to the characters I came up with, and 2, I didn't want to make a magical girl story. At this point, I felt lost when it came to figuring out where to take these characters. I was constantly thinking of ideas that could work, but most of them didn't really work. All I really had for an idea was that the Sleeping Beauty character was like Hypnos from Hades, and the Ugly Duckling character was forever stuck with self-esteem issues. It wasn't until I was getting ready for bed and I asked a question: how to combine the Ugly Duckling and Sleeping Beauty for a story. That got me to the chain of ideas that led me to my new idea. The first idea I came up with after that question was the Ugly Duckling character could fulfill the role of the prince. I was filled with new ideas and I started asking questions about both characters. Did I want the Ugly Duckling character to be royalty or did I want her to be a commoner? How would these 2 characters even meet? How could I include elements from the fairy tale of the Ugly Duckling into the story? These are a few questions I asked, and to answer one of them, the Ugly Duckling character is not royalty. I think. I'm working on it, but I can save that for a different video. The more I thought of this story for the rest of August, the more I felt committed. I came up with more ideas that made their way into being the foundation of my new project. For example, I really loved how Briar Beauty from Ever After High had a realization about her destiny of falling asleep for 100 years. I loved seeing her feelings and reactions to that, and wanted something similar for my story. The idea I got from that led to me coming up with the idea of these characters traveling around a fantasy world. When the fall semester at my college started up again, I actually was writing down the ideas for the story. I started thinking about how I wanted to tell my story. I started adding more characters. I actually felt excited to explore different ideas. After getting my ideas down on paper, on August 31st, I started drawing the ideas for the 2 girls who started this. Having a visual just helped me get more invested in this story. When I came up with the 3rd character of 5 for this story, I started coming up with ideas for her as well. When late September came in, I started coming up with more ideas for the story. I originally was going to have my 2 girls as the only members of the cast. As I said before, this had grown to 5 members for the main cast. As my brain settled into the story being worth my attention, I focused a lot on the writing side of things. I've been having a lot of fun writing down ideas and coming back to them later to see if they'll stick around. As I'm writing this script and making this video, it should be October. I'm still working on this project and I'm excited to see where it'll go. While I do have plans for turning this into a comic, I'm gonna take my time with this. I know it's not gonna be perfect, but I want to give myself time to experiment and explore different ideas and how I present them. It's actually kind of cool seeing how a scrapped video of mine led to a project I'm in love with. Despite me not being able to finish the video being a curse in its own right, I'm glad this entire situation ended up as a blessing. We have reached the end of this video. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. If you want to see me anywhere else, I will have my social media accounts linked in the description. I really hope to have more content lined up for you, but I can't promise you that since college keeps me busy. Either way, I really hope you like this video and I hope you have a nice day.